free. Next slide. And we actually, let's stay with this one, Dave. Transportation, restoring Sunday bus service. That will probably happen in 2023. We'll be working on my role as a Kitsap Transit board representative to identify, new ways to provide service to our community. So we know that there's issues with labor. There's funding available. And so looking at the traditional models and how we might, morph into a different type of model to get a service started. So that's coming soon. Energy resilience, I've already briefed you on this. And analyzing energy needs, as I mentioned, about population growth, climate, weather extremes, environmental concerns, legislation, all of those things are coming into play. They need to be addressed when we're talking about energy resiliency. So we'll kickstart that. I was nominated to lead that effort for Kitsap County, and so I'll be briefing you as we go along. And homelessness, shelter and respite. That will continue. We might as well just pencil that in for the foreseeable future. There'll be efforts on that. Each one of these, you'll see measurable efforts and things that we can look back on and mark off and either decide that we completed the projects or we'll just keep rolling them over. Yes, Councilor Chamberlain, Vice President Chamberlain.
Thank you, Mayor Wheeler. I'd love some expansion on the homelessness highlights. For instance, how will we measure progress? And are there plans for expanding these particular metrics?
Well, right now, what my goal will be for the shelter is to ensure we maintain shelter. So one of the challenges that we have is our partner, Salvation Army, is going to discontinue in the fall or in the spring. And so I'm already beginning work on identifying another location, another funding source in partnership to continue shelter operations. So sometimes it's not adding to what we have, it's maintaining. And I'll be working hard to maintain this. And my goal is to ensure there's no gap. As that shelter closes, we have a place for those folks to transition to. The respite, you all are aware of the respite project, and we all know it's very much needed down where the old rescue mission building used to be.
Thank you, Mayor Wheeler.
All right. And one more slide. Happy New Year. I look forward to working with you all in 2023.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Much appreciated. And those are some big issues, so appreciate you diving into them. And I know council looks forward to staying apprised and working with you on them. Much appreciated. All right, next time we'll move on to the consent agenda. If the clerk will please read the consent agenda.
Thank you, President Coughlin. For approval on the consent agenda are the following items. A, claims and check register. Approval of the following checks and electronic fund transfers. 1, check numbers 401238 through 401332 and electronic fund transfers V36576 through V36622 and the grand total amount of $2,201,044 and $422. Let me start over. I'm sorry. $2,201,422.29. B, minutes of meeting December 21st, 2022. This concludes the reading of the consent agenda.
Thank you, Clerk Hoover. Does any member of the public wish to comment on this consent agenda? Any of these items? Anybody online? All right, seeing and hearing none, I call for the question. Pardon me, thank you. To the roll. All right, does any member of the council wish to make a motion on the consent agenda? Yes, Councilmember Younger.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Now I call for the question.
Councilmember Chamberlain,
Yes.
Fry,
Yes.
Dennehy, Mochler,
Yes.
Younger,
Yes.
Goodnow,
Yes.
and Coughlin.
Yes.
Thank you. 6 yeses, 1 absent. Next on the agenda, or motion carries, I'm sorry. Next on the agenda is public recognition.
Perfect. Thank you. As noted, the agenda public recognition provides an opportunity for attendees to address the council on any city-related item that is not already listed on tonight's agenda. Note that there is no general business tonight, so we have no agenda past this. We just ask that you please state your name for use in the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less, and we will have a timer system to make sure everyone is treated equally. With that, I open up public recognition, so please step up to the podium or raise your hand online on Zoom. Seeing no one in the room, we'll go online to Debbie Haas. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Debbie Haase, and live here in Kitsap County. And I'm really disappointed that the Bremerton REAC has been dissolved, and more than disappointed, distraught, really, and see it as a huge step backwards for the county, for Bremerton and the whole Kitsap County, a step backwards in equity and race equity for everyone and for the government. And so I just urge you, Mayor Wheeler and the whole city council, in moving forward to recreate that. And as you do so, do it in a way that includes the history that's been done so far and the previous members, so that you don't lose what has been brought forward so far. And so you don't lose that lens of equity in your government work. And I just really urge you to move on this and not dissolve equity work in your government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'll just briefly respond that REAC and the council have been working on not dissolving it, but getting it in a proper framework so that it can continue onwards and do the good work it's been doing. So we're very much aligned on making sure that happens and that REAC can continue as a committee. Thank you. Next up for public comment, we'll go to Jana Ursi. Sorry, Osere. Apologies for mispronunciation.
That's okay. My name is Jana Kors Esteri, and I am a resident of Bainbridge Island. And tonight I speak to you as a resident of Kitsap County. I got involved in race equity work through members of the Bremerton REAC committee. And with their encouragement and guidance, I became a volunteer for a program called BI Reads for Justice that is working in concert with the Bainbridge Island REAC. And I think that a committee like the Bremerton REAC is so important because it examines governance on so many different levels, including outreach programs like this Community Reads program that I'm now volunteering for. I think it's really unfortunate that the committee has been dissolved. I understand your intention to reform it, but I think what's lost is the historical knowledge, the institutional knowledge, the progress that the Bremerton REAC folks have made thus far. And I think it's really important that you make sure that those members are involved in however you reconvene it. The last thing I'll say is in our Community Reads program, we are creating discussion questions for our community members. And one of the questions is, where do you see historical progress against racism, followed by a backlash that sets these conversations back? And throughout history, the book we're reading shows us that this is a pattern. And I worry that this is a pattern that we're seeing here in Bremerton. So let's not let that happen. Please let the Bremerton REAC folks have a say in how the REAC is formed moving forward. And please don't delay with those efforts. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate those thoughts and concerns. Next, we'll go to Olivia. If you don't mind stating your last name just for the record.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Olivia Hall, and I'm a resident of Bainbridge Island and a member of the Race Equity Advisory Committee on Bainbridge Island. But today, I'm speaking as a member of the Kitsap County community. I'm speaking on behalf of the Bremerton Race Equity Advisory Committee, and I'm distraught that they have recently been dissolved. It came to my attention a few days ago that due to what seemed like a procedural error on the part of the Bremerton City Council, Mayor Wheeler decided to reconfigure the structure of the Bremerton REAC without input or advisement of the community REAC members. At our last joint REAC meeting, Bremerton REAC voiced their frustrations with City Council. In the short few months on Bainbridge REAC, I have found the same. However, despite our experiencing these barriers, we have also seen great progress in working in collaboration with our city government to inform policy that prioritizes equity. Though we are far from perfect, we have made progress. So far, in my capacity as a REAC member, I have been involved in giving equity-based input into the police court facility, zero emission plans, public art applications, and the race equity officer job description. Tomorrow, we will be discussing REAC's involvement in the revised Winslow sub-area plan. I say this not to put a measuring stick up against our two cities, but to demonstrate what is possible when the community and government begin to work together. Though the recent dissolution of the Bremerton REAC seems on its outside to be an administrative action, we know that these administrative procedures are often designed to strengthen inequities and barriers. And it is simply unacceptable to hide behind these procedures that allow for the perpetuation of silencing marginalized voices. Where you once sought to dismantle systemic racism, by dissolving the Bremerton REAC, you intentionally reintroduced racial inequities and barriers back into Bremerton city government. I urge you, Mayor Wheeler and the Bremerton City Council, that in moving forward with your recreation of the Bremerton REAC, you do so with the express inclusion of all previous Bremerton REAC members. To do anything less would be antithetical to any equity efforts purported by city government and would only strengthen the systemic racism in your government and community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Just a brief clarification. Sorry, we're having a little bit of feedback in the room here. It's translating busy. Apologies. We're going to be clear with the council committee, so Mayor did not have involvement. The mayor did not disband the committee. We have been working all year, I know REAC has, on forming a committee with rules that conform to state law. And I know the discussion from what we've been briefed is that's looking at mirroring the Bainbridge model and how their REAC was formed. So appreciate your work there. Folks on the REAC committee have been involved all year in those discussions, to my knowledge. All right, thank you. Who's next on for public comment? We'll go ahead to Rennie.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Rennie Bispham. I, too, am a resident of Bainbridge Island and a member of the Kitsap County. And I'm also a member of the Bainbridge Island REAC, but I am addressing you in my personal and private capacity, not on behalf of REAC, Bainbridge REAC. So as we have heard it and as we understand, there is some procedural reasons for why it was deemed by City Council and or the mayor to disband the current group and reform it in some other capacity. As we understand it, there have not been meaningful conversations with the members of REAC about this very thing. And to remove the current members, to get rid of all of the historical knowledge, systemic knowledge, and start over is not going to be something that serves the marginalized voices that reacts across the county are trying to elevate. And so I too would like to encourage you to listen very closely to the members of the former REACT group and include them in the planning. If possible, some of them should be on there. I cannot imagine what it would be like if the Bainbridge Island Race Equity Advisory Committee, if everybody walked out the door at the same time. Like any organization, that would be not a good thing. And so I just want to encourage you to listen to your former REACT members, listen to your community as you form whatever version of REACT that you will be forming going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have more folks online? Yes, thank you for showing that. Let's go to the conduit with Mullen Cameron.
Good evening, Council. Happy New Year's to you and to you also, Mayor. I won't go in too much on REACT, as you know my stance on that. What I will say is, as I shared in the last meeting of the year, I'm dismayed that our folks out in Bainbridge Island, many who are white, are advocating on the behalf of Bremerton REACT. And again, it is just a testament to the fact that our BIPOC community here in Bremerton have lost faith in this system in this regard. But what I want to talk about is I'm encouraged to see that there is transportation that will be restored on Sundays. I think that is very important. As many of you know, I have a transportation company. Transportation equity is paramount to me. One of the big challenges is not only that there isn't Sunday service, but that the bus service stops pretty early in the evenings. And so for many of our service workers that have to work multiple jobs, they're not able to get home. One possible solution would be at least to run one full bus rotation every time a ferry comes in until the ferry stops running, through midnight. I think that would be one way to go. And I know that there's costs associated with that, but transportation equity is important. And I'd love to be put out of business in that regard. I think that's really important. The other thing that I wanted to mention was our homelessness issue that is continuing to grow. And I would have wished I would have heard a little bit more full-throated support from the mayor to not only maintain, because that sounds like the goal for 2023, but we know that that our population of unhoused is growing, and just maintaining is not enough. We need to do more. Now, the $10,000 that was earmarked for restrooms downtown, from what I'm understanding, is seeming problematic. And so if City Council and the mayor in good faith have earmarked that as a budget, then we want to see that through and see those support services put there. As you know, we have been dealing with some pretty severe climate issues in regards to snow, ice, flooding, all in a short span, and we're not out of it yet. And so I just also want to just give a shout out to all the folks that have kept the severe weather shelters open through the holidays and sacrificed their time to help their fellow citizens. So I just want to thank you all for that. Happy New Year's, everyone.
Yes, we will be working on the issue for the $10,000 allocated for downtown restrooms now that we started the year, and very much appreciate sending those comments about Kids Up Transit as well to Kids Up Transit directly. All right, can I see the folks on Zoom? We're just going to take a couple quick seconds here to see if we can troubleshoot this feedback issue. But in the room has the Zoom broadcasting or picking up audio. The laptop, cell phone, I doubt it. So we'll continue on and see if I can keep troubleshooting here. Thanks for putting up with the feedback. Let's go back to see who's on Zoom with their hand up still. All right, next we'll go to Rev Ellington.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Hello, yes, loud and clear, go ahead.
All right, I want to just say a Happy New Year to everyone. My name is Michael Ellington. I'm the pastor of New Horizon Ministries. This is a church that's been established in this community for the last 17 years. I'm going to be brief and try not to be too offensive. I am very disheartened to hear about the dissolvement of our REAC. So I look upon all of these European faces. You guys have the power to make that decision right now, but I think it's a poor one. I am very heartened and glad to see the support from the other cities in this county to come out and voice their opinions in our city council to the importance and the vitalness of having a REAC. I do pray that you guys kind of straighten this out in the short order because time is the enemy of equality. We've been through enough in this country. As I co-sign with what Brother Mawan just said about restoring some limited transportation on Sundays. As I was installed as the new pastor of New Horizon, one of my first acts was to move our services to Saturdays simply because there was no bus service on Sundays and to make people's spiritual needs a priority. So that's kind of my deal in the short. Just please reestablish the REAC. And in doing so, I would like to see a more evenly spread I like to see more diversity on the REAC itself. And I am raising my hand to say that I will, when it gets reestablished, will be petitioning to join as a REAC member. So with that being said, again, I pray you all have a blessed new year, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Reverend. Next, we'll go to Vanessa Dale Ray Wagner. Ms. Wagner.
Hello, can you hear me?
Here we go. Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
Yes. I just wanted to say what was your plans for the homeless veterans of the area or the center where the veterans used to meet at over on Kids Out Way? That's about it.
Apologies, the audio is coming in a little soft. I believe we were asking about. I've been there myself many times with the baby or child in the background. So, Ms. Wagner, if you want to try again, and if not, what we can do is come back to you in a little bit. Let's go ahead and move on. We'll come back, but I think we got the comment about.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
All right, we'll go ahead to Jim. Who's on mute.
Hello, I was just wondering about the VA center that's been closed down in Bremerton for I don't know how many years, but I've been here for a couple and it's been closed down. I was wondering if you had any plans for it and also what your agenda looks like for the veterans of the area because I noticed.
I'm so sorry. I think we're having some technical difficulties on who's able to speak at the moment. Looking at IT, do we have Jim unmuted or is it still Ms. Wagner? The IT is working on it. If folks can just stand by. Okay. Are there any issues, like glance over legal of promoting member of the public to panelists to be able to speak? Or possible. Okay. Tell you what, Jim, let's go ahead and move to somebody else while we think about how to deal with that. We may just ask you to write in your comment verbally. All right. We'll go ahead to in-person public comment. 1 second.
Good evening, City Council members and our mayor. My name is Akoye Karen Vargas. I am a member of Emmanuel Apostolic Church. We have been working diligently in this community for over 40 years to ensure equity, inclusion, and diversity. We were very disheartened to hear the disbandment of the REACT team. We thought that maybe our city government and our city council members was moving forward in an equitable way. There are plenty of models throughout the state of Washington. Kitsap, E-Race Coalition, as well as many of the equity and inclusion and diversity councils throughout our state of Washington is doing this work. And we were hopeful that our county would step up and do the same. We have been lacking in many years in the area of equity. During the pandemic, most of the inequities were very evident that we needed to work diligently to make progress and to move diversity, equity, and inclusion forward. We know that race equity was at the top. Racism was at the top of those lists. And we were hopeful that our city leaders here and our city leaders throughout our county would step into this work of dismantling some of those inequities within our systems, within our government systems, within our educational systems, within all of our businesses and the way that we conduct our business within our county here. We're hoping that the decisions that were made would be reviewed, because neither were they equitable, neither were they inclusive, and they were not very diverse in the way that those decisions were made. So I'm saying to all of us, because it's going to take all of us to be able to address the issues of inequities throughout all of our communities, that we would begin to diligently take time to see how we are doing this work equitably across all of the work that we do. And so I just wanted to say, I think it's time to take a pause and review some of the decisions that was made, and that we would begin to move forward in a more equitable way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Vargas. Oh, okay, yeah, why don't we try promoting Jim to a panelist, allow him to speak. You can just keep your video off and do audio only. We'd appreciate that. Perfect, thank you. Go ahead. Let's see, we're not hearing you yet, so may need to unmute on your end. IT, is there a way that we can
is that
on
good?
our side? Okay.
Okay. I don't want to use the term, can you hear me now? So just all wave if you can hear me. Great, okay, thank you. I just wanted to take a minute. I'm the interim vice president of the Charleston Revitalization or Downtown or Revitalization and Business District. And I wanted to make a comment about Michael Goodnow. He's the first time I met him was just about a year ago when we were doing one of the first major cleanups of the Tallow area as part of our projects to address the issues and the barriers that prevent revitalization. And he, along with about 50 other people, came down to Callow and spent half a day going through the streets, picking up trash and cleaning it up. And that was really indicates to me the type of person he is. And I just wanted to take a few minutes and thank him for that. In addition, he's attended several of our meetings, and in doing so, he's really improved the communication between the business district and the city. He's also been instrumental in providing information on our next steps, and we really look forward to furthering that as we move forward. I just recently saw him down at Cafe Corpo on Callow, and he was talking with somebody about Callow and the changes that are being made. And he's just a hands-on guy that is approachable and has done a great job for the community. So that's what I wanted to share, along with Callow is cool, and we're gonna help get it revitalized. And I wanna thank the city. In particular, the Bremerton One app has really been instrumental, and we appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and definitely appreciate your kind words, and I echo them. Let's see who else is on Zoom for public comment. We've got Brandy Bishpam. And apologies if I mispronounced anybody's name. Please go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Brandy Bispham. I'm a school teacher on Bainbridge Island. I live on Bainbridge Island. I come to you tonight as a fellow white person and as a trainer of equity. And as white people, we typically have a lot to learn about equity work, and we are usually some of the last ones to come into it. It looks like tonight has been what we typically call one of the basics of intent versus impact. And if your intent really is to clean up the process and to make a committee that follows different guidelines, I would challenge that the impact has had a very different result than what you intended. And I would ask that you look at that as you move forward. Reading books, bringing in some people to talk to you as a group might be a great idea. Because as you go forward and you make a lot of decisions as a group of white people that affect everybody in the city of Bremerton and in Kitsap County, it's really important that you're aware of how the intent of what you're doing, what that impact is. I really appreciate the time and the work that you do. And I know this is messy work to get right, but we've got to keep trying. So thank you so much for your time tonight.
Anybody else for public comment on Zoom? Anybody else in the room? I think we have one on Zoom. Yes, let's try Ms. Wagner one more time. Ms. Wagner, if you want to go ahead and speak, we got some of your comments earlier, but not all.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, there we go.
Yes, I would like to know about the Veterans Building that has been vacant for who knows how long in Bremerton on Kitsap Way, and whether or not we could open that up to the homeless veterans, of which there seems to be quite a bit of around here. I'm new to the area, but it's kind of my niche, and I've discovered that there is a big problem in the area. As far as that goes, I was wondering if you had any plans for the building and what your plans are for the homeless veterans of the area. And also, I just wanted to include the fact that Jesus Christ doesn't see our pigments. Thank you.
Thank you. Probably the best course of action is if you're able to send an email to city.council@ci.bremerton.law.us. It's a mouthful, but just Google Bremerton City Council. We can make sure that question gets to the right staff member, who will answer it. Thank you for the comment. All right, seeing no other comments on, oh, we have one more comment on Zoom. Jing Fong, please go ahead.
Good evening, City Council members and Mayor Wheeler. My name is Jing Fong. I am a resident of Bainbridge Island and a member of our city's Race Equity Advisory Committee. I am here in support of the Bremerton Race Equity Advisory Committee members and what they stand for: dismantling systemic racism and standing for race equity. Our two groups have met a few times to share our challenges and our successes. And if you didn't know it then, let me remind you now that you have or had an amazing group of people, not only committed to race equity, but also strongly connected to community. In our last conversation, we learned that Bremerton REAC had to file a public records request to get details on the city's race equity officer position. And now we've learned that the Bremerton REAC is being dismantled. These two incidents make me question why the committee was created in the first place. Where is the working together? Change is hard. Working for race equity is hard. We can't do it alone, and I know we aren't alone. While there are many days that I wish things would move a little faster on Bainbridge, I'm grateful that our REAC is collaborating with our City Council manager, our City Council, and executive leadership. We're currently providing feedback with the city on a zero emission pilot project, the police court facility, housing action plan, and Winslow sub-area plan. One of our goals is to get the city thinking about race equity and working with us from the beginning, not when everything is set in stone. Relationships move at the speed of trust, and trust means being transparent, open, and welcoming. I don't know the reasons behind your dismantling the current REAC, but please do the respectful thing and speak to your current REAC members. They have an abundance of gifts, knowledge, commitment, and community connections. Please be honest with the community about why you are dismantling the existing Bremerton REAC. If you truly care about race equity, you need community. You cannot do this alone, and you need to do this with honesty and transparency. I'm trusting that you care, and I'm trusting you will do the right thing. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. One last time for any members of the public, in person or on Zoom. All right, seeing none, I will go ahead and close public recognition and we'll move on to general business, of which we have no general business tonight. So next up will be council member reports. Since this is the first meeting of the month, we'll start with District 1, Council Member Chamberlain.
Hello there. I'm hoping that folks that are here from Bainbridge Island REAC and in support of REAC don't go yet. Because what happens with these city council meetings is once they say what they got to say, they stop, they leave. They don't wait for the council reports to find out what we want to say and reply. So please hang on, okay? I'd like to address a few things. I am the vice chair of REAC. So first of all, there's been a couple of things, a couple of words that have been mentioned that I want to address. The word disillusion, and then also the concept that members of REAC were not consulted. I want to address the last piece first. We had many meetings with REAC where we did stand in consultation with REAC members about the proposed structure. Those are all public record. They're available for you to view. And so I encourage you to do that. We spent many meetings talking about potential structure and getting feedback. And the feedback that we received was that they wanted to have power that was beyond what City Council in Bremerton has the ability to do, which is just budgetary and legislative. They wanted to be able to have an influence with our administration. So please do tune into those public records to find out how much time we spent with REAC members in consultation. The second piece is disillusion. The disillusion of REAC, which actually, yes, that has happened, hasn't it? We're currently in the middle of working out a new ordinance. Traditionally, also in January, we don't have committee meetings, so that's not really, so not having a committee meeting in January for all the committees is kind of normal. So just know that just because there's not going to be a committee meeting for REAC, or there's probably not for public safety or finance or other committee meetings as well. But the dissolution has happened, so I do acknowledge that. And what I do want to say about that is that when we are restructuring, when we're trying to put an ordinance that was recommended by REACT members, we have to start fresh. And so the folks that were on a committee for City Council, as we're moving towards this new ordinance, which we'll be discussing and we'll be discussing at City Council and approving, that we will be determining whether or not it's going to continue as a City Council committee or moving it into a commission, which is under the administration's purview. So please stay tuned for that. Please don't just believe what you see on social media, but please know that we have a commitment to dismantling racism, even as white people, that we are doing the work. We are reading the books. We're attending what we can. We're making a commitment to dismantling racism in our institution of Bremerton. It's happening. It's here. You know, we acknowledge it. Many of us do. And that's what I'd like to say about that. Thank you for that. Mr. Goodnow, thank you for serving with me this year. I feel like this year has been quite a year of learning. I appreciate the time that we spent in consultation and for what you've done for me and mentored me in a way. So thank you for that, and I appreciate your work. Congratulations, President Coughlin. Okay, I look forward to working with you. I know that we have, you know, a lot of us on this council, we may not be exactly alike, but we have shared values. And we have consistently shown to the city of Bremerton that we are united and we can vote in a united way and reach consensus and view a lot of different perspectives. And each one of us has our own little gift that we're bringing to council, you know. I love that Councilmember Younger always wants us to make sure that we're getting public input for everything because we're here for the constituents. We have Anna Mockler, who's brought sustainability to the forefront of all of our discussions. Thank you for that. We have President Goodnow that likes to break it down and make it simple, remind us, like, you know, keep us on track. And we have Mr. Coughlin over here, who's been to every damn meeting that exists in Bremerton, every single coalition that we have. We've been to all of them, I think. And then Denise Fry, she really wants that part. But she really has this, you know, compassion and this history and this, you know, wisdom that I appreciate. So thank you all. And I look forward to this upcoming year. Happy 2020.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Chamberlain. Next, we'll go to District 2 with Councilmember Fry.
Thank you, Councilwoman Chamberlain. I do like using the term councilwoman. I know that it's not in use a lot anymore, but I really appreciate that coming from, you know, almost 35 years working with YWCA in the elimination of racism and the empowerment of women. And it's a mission that I hold very near to my heart and to my being. And it's been very difficult to watch the challenges unfold with Brianna. But I want to assure anybody on this call, in this meeting, that you do have a council that is committed to this. You know, we're gonna get it right. And then we're gonna be at the Bainbridge City Council meetings, giving them our wisdom. We've got the diversity here in Bremerton. We've been working with diversity here in Bremerton for many, many, many years. We don't let this speed bump, you know, think that the course has gone in a different direction, because it has not. It has. Councilmember Coughlin, I want to congratulate you. You have the energy, the commitment, the dedication. I know you're going to be an incredible president. That being said, it is with a lot of sadness that I just, you know, this is just one part of our journey together, Councilmember Goodnow. We have walked many paths together, and we will continue to walk this path together, just in a different role. Thank you for your service. I really appreciate that. As I have all of you. That's it.
Thank you. I believe Councilmember Denny, he is offline, correct? I'll double check. Okay. In that case, we'll go ahead to District 5 with Councilmember Goodnow.
Yeah, I just wanted to mostly say congratulations on Coughlin. And it's been an honor Council Vice President. And I just kind of reiterating, I've done 25 years in Kitsap doing LGBT activism. We've always looked to our communities for allies support those directions. I made a comment not that long ago that it's a very quick change from being on one side of the dais trying to do things. And now, until it's solved, you're part of the problem. It's a lot of weight, it's a lot of emotion, but I assure you, the council is committed to getting this right. Continue to make noise. I mean, you just need to do it. And I would, over the last couple of years, I would regularly talk to council members on Bainbridge Island as well. Other council members from other cities, and it's tough work. It's not supposed to be easy, right? If easy, somebody would have already done it. So we're committed to this. I know the mayor and the administration. We just didn't get it right the first time. It takes some time. Some input. I don't think anybody's prohibited from serving again. Just in the process, just like any other. I wanted to thank Jim from the Dallas District as well. There's really some good stuff happening down there. Very exciting. So hopefully we'll continue to move this forward. That helps all.
Thank you, Councilmember. Next up, we'll go to District 6. Councilman Mockler.
Thanks, newly elected President Coughlin. I have one slide. There's my slide. So the emergency declaration has been lifted, so I've been having town halls every second Monday, 4 to 6 p.m. Formerly at the Pancake House, but that became too expensive. Thank you, Director Nucky, for opening up the Public Works facility on Oyster Bay Avenue. The last one was on the Bremerton 1 app. This upcoming one is on the comprehensive plan, comments for which I believe the deadline is February 2nd. Am I correct on that? Okay, comments are open for the next 2 years. So, if you come next Monday, you'll really get a jump on. This is basically what kind of Bremerton do you want to see over the next 20 years? And I want to make sure everybody has a shot at looking at that, not just the people who are already receiving steady streams of city stuff. So if you know anybody who lives in District 6 or near District 6 or really in Bremerton, please have them come by. This is an opportunity to speak directly to planning about what's going on and what you would like to see. Congratulations, President Coughlin. Thank you very much for your service. Councilor Good now. That was hard to say. I'd like to speak about the equity aspect of a couple of things that, just because I'm in a granular mode tonight, I don't have big meta stuff. Sunday service. We have to have Sunday service. I am on the Kitsap Transit Board. I've brought it up pretty regularly. The new chair, Mayor Becky Erickson of Paulsbo, really wants Sunday service. So far, what we have seen is the director of Kitsap Transit says, yeah, there is Sunday service. And I say, where is this Sunday service? It says, the foot ferry between Port Orchard and Bremerton. That is the extent of the Sunday services at present. But we keep plugging at this. They're coming in a month or two to, present what they want for Sunday service. But a more short-term thing that would be useful, I think, is Bainbridge Island, from which we've heard very often this evening. Bainbridge Island, Paulsbo, and Silverdale all have what they call dial a ride, where you can just like pick up the phone and go, I need a ride. We don't have that in Bremerton, and the reason I've been given is that it would be too expensive. So I would suggest this is something that could be implemented immediately. Kitsap Transit just, for example, approved a $225,000 for 2023 for supplementary taxi cab services. Let's start thinking about that kind of thing. There are worker driver vans that are idle. I would be more than happy to talk to anybody about this. And it'll be good because I will go to the board and they'll just, they'll mush me down and say that's not realistic. But let's see what we can actually do about that with the tools at our disposal right away. Because that is an equity issue. The other equity issue is just communication in general. Really want to make sure that people have an opportunity to know what's going on in their city, to know how they can participate and engage with their city, to be able to navigate the website, to be able to know how to use the Bremerton app, one app, and have it be reliable. I'm not saying these things are not happening now. I'm just saying everything can get better and some things can get way better. If we don't bring everybody, if we don't move forward altogether, then we're not moving forward. We're going back into some past where there were rulers and ruled. So the more we can have messy, inefficient democracy, the better this is going to be for all of us. So let's make sure everybody has a voice. Am I way over time or do I have another 30 seconds?
I'll give you 30 seconds. Go for it.
Thank you. I will speak in full New York fashion. I'd like to wish everybody a happy New Year. And thank you all for caring so much about the city. And thank you for being a corrective when I or others go off base. Thank you for that. That's the only way that we're going to get any better. Happy New Year again.
All right, thank you. District 7, Councilmember Younger.
Thank you. First of all, Council President Goodnow, or former Council President Goodnow, former Council President, I wanted to say I think you did a great job. And for those that aspire to be president, I know Council President Coughlin upstairs at 5 o'clock or thereabouts indicated his desire to be Council President. With deep consideration, I nominated him for that position. Careful what you ask for. So you wanted it, you got it, and I say that tongue in cheek. I know you're going to do a great job. I've known you for years now, as people have mentioned, you're out and about. I think you will see the job. There are going to be a lot of pain points. It's just people. There's a list. Everyone on the council can see the list of duties the council president doesn't scratch the surface. So be prepared and be prepared for something to come up and oh my goodness, what? I never envisioned this. It's not an easy job. So my hats off to you. Good luck. I know you're well prepared as much as you can get to know the job. So congratulations. Congratulations, Vice President Chamberlain, on being reelected. So looking forward to seeing both of you develop. The other thing I want to talk about is I read in the paper, it actually ties into Council President Goodnow and former Council President Goodnow and Council President Coughlin, is I read about the Roxy being sold to a nonprofit by the developers in town. And I remember a few years ago, their intention was to do something that's what saying they're going to do this in the community. And I was happy to see that come to fruition. Councilmember Goodnow is the Chief Executive Officer of the Rocky. Congratulations on that goal being achieved. And more importantly for the community, I mean, now we have dueling theaters. We have the Admiral and we have the Roxy. And I just saw in the paper their intention of bringing some more Seattle Tech show, if you will, which is only just going to help our curve. I won't say revitalization. When we first got on council in 2001, we talked about revitalization terms. I don't think we need to do that. We're more than on just for more opportunities. Happy to see this become permanently organization. And look forward to you, Councilmember Goodnow, leading that organization. That's all. Thank you, Councilmember Younger. My district report, I'll just start by saying thank you to everybody tonight who spoke up, who took the time to come in person. It is incredibly appreciated. Councilmember Younger made the joke about, careful what you wish for. And I think when you get elected to office, we're up here to take the hard truth. So we do appreciate that. And I know this entire council looks forward to collaborating with the community. I love looking to other cities to see what other cities have done, what we can learn. So just thank you all for speaking up and for your patience. As everybody up here has said, we're going to keep working on it and we'll get it right. If not, we'll keep working some more. And just to quickly echo Councilmember Mockler's mention of the comp plan of Bremerton2444.com and take the survey. A great survey on there and I want your input. With that, we'll go ahead and close council member reports and we'll go into briefing by the 2023 council president, which I guess is me. Council President Goodnow, I can't thank you enough for your year of service over this past year. We had a year of a lot of change that the council hasn't seen in a long time. And with that change comes challenge. And I think you navigated us through the changes and challenges just incredibly well. And I know it wasn't easy and you put in a lot of time and effort and your talents. So that is just so incredibly appreciated. And I look forward to continue working with you every week and learning from you as well and moving forward. Councilmember Chamberlain, I look forward to working with you as vice president very much. So again, I really appreciate that everybody on this council. I'm really humbled by the trust you're putting in me, and I'll make sure that trust isn't misplaced. Please give me feedback early and often. Don't be shy. Take it. But I'm really fortunate to be here every week with you all, and not only council, but mayor, staff, all the engaged citizens. It's a truly exceptional group of the most educated, empathetic, knowledgeable, experienced people I've had the pleasure of serving with. So I just know we can get great things done this year. And I look forward to working with you all and especially working for you. Thank you. Reminders we talked about upstairs, so please send in committee assignments, hopefully by this Friday. Then Councilmember Chamberlain, we can get together and discuss over the weekend and hopefully finalize by next week and get those committees sorted out and up and running. And yeah, absolutely, as the former council president Goodnow said, please prioritize which committees you'd like the most. Let us know if there's any committees you really don't want to serve on, just in case. If you say public works, it's so boring, not my take, but it's good to know. I love public works. And then feel free to include any commentary reasoning of why you'd like to really be on something or not. Any questions on that process? Nope, seeing here none. Okay, and also retreat items we talked about, submit ASAP and hopefully also by this Friday. And I'll personally say I like when there's specific action items of something you'd like to see that's achievable over the year that we can put on our list. But whatever topics you have that and we'll get to it. And with that, we have the next study session will be held here in the first floor meeting chambers on Wednesday, January 11th, beginning at 5 p.m. The public is invited to attend. There will be no public input, but you're always welcome to come watch us. And with that, this concludes tonight's regular council business. Meeting is adjourned.